Hey team, Bill Storm here with you, and today we're going to continue our study of John Maxwell's book, High Road Leadership. We're on to chapter 11, Don't Keep Score. Now remember, this is an active study session, so I'm going to be sharing with you some key takeaways and action steps that you can take as a leader, but it's up to you to discern whether or not the principles that John is sharing is something that you agree with and something that you want to add to your leadership toolbox. So let's jump right in and with chapter 11. So in this chapter, John explores a counterintuitive but powerful leadership principle: don't keep score. So right off the bat, I stopped at that and I said, wait a minute. In the good old US of A, we are taught to keep score for everything. Otherwise, how would you know who wins, right? Every game, every football game, basketball game, or whatever sport that we play, we keep score, right? And if you're in sales, for example, it's all about keeping score. You have a goal, you have an outcome, and there's a scoreboard to see how you're doing. So, John, what do you mean don't keep score? So John says, in a world where success often seems tied to achievements, titles, and accolades, John encourages leaders to transcend these metrics and focus instead on building relationships through genuine generosity. This concept is about leading without expecting anything in return, fostering trust, and empowering teams to achieve their best. Okay, so let's stop right there. John says it's about leading without expecting anything in return. I don't agree with that. You're in a leadership position in order to get a return. The people that you hire are expected to produce and give you the return that you want. That's why you hire them in the first place. So my personal belief is more in line with what Zig Ziglar said, where he said, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. Okay, so that makes sense to me, right? If I'm generous and I help them and I pour into them, well, I'm giving them everything that they need, that they want. So that's how I get what I want. It's a two-way street. It's a dance between the two. Now, a smart leader will understand that the more you pour into someone, the greater the chances are that they're going to hit their personal and professional goals, which in turn are going to help you hit your personal and professional goals. So take a minute and think about that, meditate on that. How do you feel about that? So John says, here's why not keeping score matters. Leaders who don't keep score focus on others' growth rather than their own accolades. This approach builds a culture of collaboration, gratitude, and long-term loyalty, elements that drive sustained success in any organization. So there's three main reasons why leaders should prioritize generosity over keeping score, according to John. So we're going to get to those in just a second. Okay. So I don't see any reason why you can't keep score and still focus on other people's growth. Me as a leader, I am going to train the heck out of my people. I am going to be their biggest cheerleader and fan and give them every tool and resource possible to help them excel at their job and celebrate them like crazy when they achieve greatness in the position that they were hired to do, right? And many times that's how that shows up. It shows up on the scoreboard, right? I mean, that's how businesses are run. That just by definition, a business is there to generate a profit, and that's a scoreboard, right? It's a scoreboard. So again, I'm still not quite sure of what John's saying here. I'm kind of missing the mark. Again, I'm going back towards Zig, saying you can have everything in life you want if you'll help enough other people get what they want. How do you feel about it so far? Okay, so let's jump into the three reasons that John says leaders should prioritize generosity over keeping score. Number one, it strengthens trust and team cohesion. He says that trust deepens when team members feel that leaders are not focused on personal gain. John points out that employees who feel genuinely valued and supported are more likely to go above and beyond, knowing their contributions matter to the team rather than just the leader. Okay, so once again, anyone who's on the team would be naive to think that their leader doesn't have any personal goals and aspirations. I mean, that would just be silly. You know, they're not there just because they just love what they're doing every single day, right? I mean, there's other things that they could be doing with their life, but they're there for a specific purpose, and that is to make the company profitable. And that means organizing people that are capable of achieving the mission, and the vision that the company is set forth. So I think for me, trust would deepen more so is if I knew that my leader had personal goals and aspirations and dreams, but that person also was conscious that I also have personal goals, aspirations, and dreams, and we work together. That's team cohesion to me, to know that we're helping each other, right? John F. Kennedy said, a rising tide raises all boats. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a team leader that's going to help everyone move up. Number two, John says, create a positive work environment. A leader who gives freely creates a culture where generosity becomes contagious. This positive environment encourages everyone to look out for one another, resulting in a workplace with less competition and more cooperation. So yes, competition can get really nasty if it's within your own ranks, right? People backbiting and doing things to try to claw their way up the ladder. That's not really what we're looking for. What we're looking for is, if you can imagine this, everyone is on the same team. If you're trying to win a Super Bowl, right, you want the other players on your team to do well, because they are part of achieving that ultimate goal or ultimate dream of winning that Super Bowl ring. If they're not doing their job and you're not supporting them, and you are sabotaging their success, well, that's going to make it impossible for you to get the outcome that you're looking for. So there's the big thing, is when everybody understands that they're on the same team, going towards the same, working towards the same goal. That's where you have a positive work environment, because everybody's working towards a common good. Number three, builds a legacy beyond individual achievements. So leaders prioritize others' success over their own, leaving a lasting impact. So when leaders focus on empowering others, their legacy is seen in the achievements of those they support, creating a ripple effect of generosity and success. So this reminds me, I had a conversation the other day with Tom Ziglar, the son of the late great Zig Ziglar, who I am a huge fan. And Tom was telling me, he said, my dad left a legacy, and my job is to continue that legacy. And I thought, wow, what an amazing leader that is, because Zig had such an amazing impact on so many people's lives, including my own. In fact, I said to Tom, I said, I received a copy of your dad's book, See You at the Top, back in 1984, which was literally 40 years ago. And it completely changed and shaped my entire life of who I am today. That's a legacy. That's somebody who did such good work that it continues to impact people for many years to come. And we had a great conversation, and I got a chance to, thank him for his continued efforts with keeping that spirit alive. Here are the key takeaways, okay? A few key takeaways that I wrote down here from this chapter. Focus on helping others, not owing, okay? So rather than feeling like you're owed something for your contributions, right? Effective leaders focus on helping people grow, right? So when you're helping people grow, you're not doing it expecting something in return, right? You're helping people grow because that is going to help them grow into the kind of person that's capable of producing that you want. So that it's not that they owe you anything for your efforts to help them grow. You're doing it for a specific purpose. Okay. Number two, value process over personal gain. Building strong teams involves valuing the success of others, regardless of whether it directly benefits the leaders. Okay. Again, I'm not quite sure where John is going with this, because the process of building strong teams is vital to not only the team success, the individual team member success, but it also does directly benefit the leader. So I'm not sure where John is coming from with that. I don't quite get that one. Next, emphasize equity. Fairness and empathy are essential in relationships. They build a foundation for lasting connections. Okay, so fairness and empathy. First, life isn't fair, okay? I think it would be naive to think that life is fair. But as a leader, you can try to be as fair as possible. And empathy, I like that word because empathy is about listening to your team members, listening to the people that you have these daily relationships with, and not being sympathetic where you join in on their frustration with any challenges that they're facing, but listen intently to what their challenges are and then be a part of the solution. That's a great relationship, right? With somebody that you're leading. You want to be supportive of those people, and you want to be fair in your dealings with all people and give everybody the opportunity to learn and grow to achieve their own personal personal and professional goals. Number next, trust in the long-term impact. Leaders who invest in others may not see immediate returns, but their impact is significant and often enduring. Yes, 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 and yes. My first mentor poured so much into me. And I would say if I had a conversation with him today, he has since passed away. But if I was able to have a conversation with him today, I don't even know. I think he would even be surprised at the level of the impact that he had on me, his investment in me, and what it did and how it shaped my life and where I am today because of it. I think he would even be surprised at the power of in gratitude that I have for him for the investment that he made in me. So here's some action steps for you as a leader. Number one, celebrate others' wins without expecting praise. Yes, right? You want to praise your team members for their achievements because you hired them because of their skills. But even with people that have great skills, they want to be recognized when they go above and beyond and when they actually get a win using their skills. It's a big deal when your team members succeed. So you want to shout praises about them. And believe me, you don't need to worry about your own praise because you're praising other people and because you're building other people, they will praise you. You don't have to ask for it. It will just happen naturally. Number two, offer help freely. Approach every interaction as an opportunity to serve. If a team member is struggling with a project, offer support without attaching any strings to it. This genuine approach fosters an environment where employees feel comfortable seeking guidance and assistance. Yeah, I want to help people that are self-starters. I want to help people that are hungry. I want to help people that want to improve themselves, both personally and professionally. So if someone approaches me that way, I am going to pour as much as I can into those people. For the people that aren't interested in growing, I'm not going to invest my time in those people. I'm going to offer my help freely, though, to the people that really do appreciate it and want to learn and grow. Number three, let go of I helped you, not you owe me. Again, John says, help with keeping track of how others reciprocate. Real generosity and leadership is about supporting others' growth, even if it doesn't come back directly. Encourage this mindset with your team to foster a culture where help and kindness are freely exchanged. Yes, right? You never know when you pour into someone, you don't know how that's going to come back. You don't know, the direct impact. But this is the thing: you as a leader should be a lighthouse. You should be shining your light on other people and helping people see their way to becoming their very best self without expectation that they owe you anything. They really don't. They don't owe you anything, right? But I will say this: because you don't expect anything to come back to you, it usually comes back to you tenfold. They are going to come back and they are going to bless you with much more than you could possibly imagine than if you were trying to, hold it over their head that they owed you something. Number four, mentor with purpose. Mentoring is one of the most powerful ways to invest in others. Set aside time to mentor team members in ways that are meaningful to them and prioritize their growth and career development over your immediate needs. Okay, so this is so true. The companies and people that I coach, I talk to them all the time about consistency. You have to condition the things that you want done into your people. And mentoring is a great way to do that. If you invest time weekly to uh, educate your people and to train your people and to guide your people and be available to your people, they will revere you now as a mentor and as a teacher, not just a boss, right? The people that I've worked for in the past, or even people that I don't work for, but that I have dealings with, that's who I look for. I look for people who are teachers, someone who is open, somebody who will share, somebody who will give from their heart. And those people are the people that I revere. People that just hold a title of leader don't do much for me. And I always laugh because, and I say this, and I bring this up so often, but one of the things that I like that John Maxwell says is he says, if you just have the title of a leader, but nobody's following you, then you're basically just going for a walk, right? You're basically just going for a walk by yourself. So show up and think about yourself in a leadership position. Do you show up as a boss and a manager, or do you show up as a mentor and a teacher? Because there is a very big difference. And then number 5, encourage peer recognition. Foster a culture where team members recognize each other's efforts. Implement a system for peer-to-peer recognition that allows colleagues to show appreciation, contributing to a collaborative and supportive environment. Again, during team meetings, this is really, really easy to give people an opportunity to give somebody else somebody else on the team a shout out for something that they did that may have gone unnoticed by everyone else, that may have contributed to the overall success of a particular project, some sort of win. Zaid used to, he had something that he would call giving somebody an attaboy or an attagirl, right? And I think a great thing to do during a team meeting would be to start out with something like that, to say, hey, does anybody have an attaboy or an attagirl that they want to give to somebody else on the team, something that you saw them do, or something where they really made a contribution and made a difference? Would love to hear from you. And when you start doing that and somebody starts praising somebody else on the team, that becomes the new norm. And you will start getting people that will start looking for the good things in other people rather than just focusing on the negatives. So John ends with this. He says, leading with an open hand and an open heart enables others to thrive without the weight of expectations. When leaders focus on elevating others without keeping score, they build an authentic, inspiring, and resilient team that can achieve far more together than any individual could do alone. So there's our study session for today. There's so much of this that I agree with, and then there's some of these things that I'm not quite sure, and some of these things that I think my thoughts are just a little bit different, and that's okay, right? And I think that's okay. The point of this is for you to discern whether or not you agree with this, or what modifications or edits you might need to this in order to make it fit into the way that you lead your team. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for chapter 12.